Yowie wowie, dudes. Welcome to the No DQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for October 14th, 2019. We had a Firefly Funhouse video package to kick us off, recapping Hell in a Cell because we really needed to see what happened again. We had to relive that terror that was the Bray Wyatt-Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match for the Universal Championship. And then we had the Skillet intro for Monday Night Raw, and we had Pyro. That's right. 2 weeks in, we still got Pyro, or 3 weeks in, however long it's been now, since the season premiere. By the way, quick note, Ken Terminated by Google is the first new No DQ Super Chat champion of the evening. If you send in $5, you can become the No DQ Super Chat champion. He says, what up to Rift in the chat room? I will use the Polish hammer circa Ivan Putski to start the stream. There's a throwback right there. Old school. I like it. Polish hammer makes Ken the first No DQ Super Chat champion of the evening. So we had Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair in the first match. Now, for those of you that are like, we've already seen this match over and over. It was originally supposed to be Becky versus Sasha, but Sasha was not cleared. She reportedly has a tailbone injury and was not able to do the match. Becky came out. She cut a promo. She mentioned Sasha. She said she cannot seem to get rid of Charlotte, but she's ready for a war. Charlotte came out. Charlotte said that she doesn't want to fight anymore. She wants to be friends. But then, swerve, Vince Russo swerve. I know Virtue loves the Russo references. Charlotte punches Becky. And then we had a big brawl. There was a commercial break. When we came back, we had the match. Charlotte. I'll get to Natalya later. Charlotte hit all of her big moves, natural selection, the big boot, the spear. Nothing could put away Becky Lynch. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." The crowd was into this, so that was definitely a positive. It was a solid match. Becky ended up picking up the victory with a cradle, and that meant that Monday Night Raw gets the first pick. Just like they did on SmackDown, Raw got the first pick. We had a backstage interview with Seth freaking Rollins, who got a very mixed reaction. He was asked about Bray Wyatt and their issues not being resolved. He said he's not proud about what he did at Hell in a Cell. Well, none of us are really proud. He said that he felt like he had to do whatever possible to survive. And then he said that while he's not sure if Bray Wyatt is a human being or not, he is going to go, be very, very quiet. Seth Rollins is going fiend hunting. All right, moving on here. We had some Mad Money guy from Fox talking about possible draft picks, and he ended his little promo with "Booyah!" That was cringy. Not just me, but what he said. And then we had the Raw and SmackDown War Rooms, which also was very cringy. We would see their reactions throughout the evening. Same thing as SmackDown. Oh, Michael Wayne says he's an MSNBC host. Oh, I had no idea. Don't care. Anyways, Stephanie McMahon came out to announce the first 5 draft picks. Monday Night Raw, first pick. They selected Seth Rollins. And SmackDown's first pick was Brock Lesnar. Now, let's pretend in kayfabe terms. Which star would you pick first? Now, I know Brock Lesnar's a part-timer, but in kayfabe terms, would you pick Seth Rollins or would you pick Brock Lesnar? Just throwing that out there to the chat room. We had Monday Night Raw pick Charlotte Flair as their second pick, so I guess that's a pretty good pick, boosting up the women's division on Monday Night Raw. And you pretty much knew what this meant. With Charlotte going to Raw, her man Andrade is going to go to Raw, and that means Zelina Vega is going to go to Raw, and that means that Alistair Black is going to go to Raw. Everyone in the chat room pretty much saying Brock Lesnar, so there you go. Sean Taylor with a $5 super chat. Sean, congratulations. You're the new No DQ 24/7 champion of the world, exclusive to the No DQ Galaxy. He says, who do you think will beat Seth for the belt now that the main stars are on SmackDown? Will it be McIntyre? Well, there is a match scheduled for Crown Jewel. Seth Rollins will be defending the Universal Championship against Bray Wyatt in a Falls Count Anywhere match. What are the odds that this ends in some sort of DQ or non-finish again? But it would be interesting because Bray Wyatt is now on SmackDown, and you could potentially have the Universal Champion go to SmackDown. Maybe Kane beats Brock and then Kane goes to Raw, although I don't think Kane was drafted, even though he's apparently a full-time WWE superstar now. So it's all confusing. It is very much confusing. Paul Jackson says the Super Chat title, this one right here, is more prestigious than the Universal title. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Michael Wayne says WWE will have a blockbuster trade. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, he says tomorrow on FS1. So maybe Bray Wyatt goes back to Raw. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on here, we had the panel discuss the draft. We had Booker T, Beth Phoenix, Samoa Joe was there wearing a cast. Danny310 says, do you review AEW? Yes. Every Wednesday night after AEW, I am doing my live review. I will be back this Wednesday right after the show. No 1 hour or next day delay. I will be back 10 minutes after AEW goes off the air. So make sure you guys check it out if you haven't seen it before. If you're new to the channel, I recap Raw on Mondays, AEW on Wednesdays, and Friday Night SmackDown on Friday nights, plus the pay-per-views. Live streams 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Let's see here. We have Josh Mansfield with a $5 super chat. So Josh Mansfield via the New Day Midnight Hour is the new No DQ super chat champion because New Day, they were the next SmackDown pick. And then as I mentioned, Andrade and Zelina Vega were drafted to Raw. And that was the first batch. So those are the top tier guys. Interesting that Andrade is in that first round draft pick. So I guess WWE is giving him a renewed push. Why not just give him King of the Ring? But beyond that. Speaking of King of the Ring, Baron Corbin. Sucks to be him. I'll get to that here in a few minutes. So Josh Mansfield is the new No DQ Super Chat champion. And he says, Bray and Brock are both on SmackDown, so Bray cannot win. Well, maybe there's a blockbuster trade. This was Fox screwing up WWE's plans this time, not the WWE screwing us. Again, there may be a trade. There may be some sort of last-minute change here. Speaking of Andrade and Zelina Vega, they came out for their match. Well, Andrade's match. Zelina cut a little promo. She talked about how it's not so much Andrade being part of the same group as Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar and the horse women, or what did he say? The horse faces, referring to the horse women. But more, it's them being part of the same first round draft picks as Andrade. We had Andrade versus Ali, who had no entrance, so you know what that means. Really good match here. These guys have great chemistry. Zelina interfered. She got on the apron. Ali dove over her anyways, and then Zelina attacked him when the referee wasn't looking. Hammerlock DDT, and Andrade gets the victory. Marcus Meatcalf, I like that name, with a $5 super chat, is the new reigning and defending No DQ super chat champion of the world. He says, curious Fox did not want Charlotte or Becky, with SmackDown being heel heavy on the women's side, Bayley, Banks, and Lacey, and only Carmella as a face. Pedigree. All right, well, I guess the pedigree is how Marcus defeats Josh Mansfield to become the brand new No DQ Super Chat champion of the world. Moving on here, we had the second batch of draft picks. Going to Monday Night Raw, we had the Kabuki Warriors. I guess a good pick with their renewed push. Now, the rule right now is that the Kabuki Warriors, the women's tag team titles will be on both shows. My idea, where the champions get to be on both shows, and whenever the Kabuki Warriors lose, they will be exclusive to Monday Night Raw. I think this should play into all the championships and merge the double champions like the Universal, WWE, etc. Moving over to SmackDown, we had Daniel Bryan. Now, this is one of those head-scratching moments. Okay, so the announcers were making this big deal, and they were showing the war room. Everyone was frustrated. Daniel Bryan was already on SmackDown, and the announcers were like, oh no, Daniel Bryan, Raw just lost Daniel Bryan. Like, he was already part of SmackDown, so what the hell? Next up, we had Rusev heading over to Monday Night Raw. Okay, I guess that's a decent pick. SmackDown gets Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion. Raw should have stolen Bayley from SmackDown. That would have been great, but of course, you can't do anything fun like that because you got to have an equal amount of champions on each show. And then, of course, like I said earlier, you got to have all the couples together. Alistair Black on Monday Night Raw. In real life, he's dating Zelina Vega. Or are they married? I forgot if they're married or not. DJ Whitty or Whitey, I always forget, with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, DJ. He says, "Sup, Aaron? When's your next live-in call-in video? I need to rant really bad. Super chat championship goes to Caitlyn with a Brie mode war cry and then a kick to the head." All right. Caitlyn's the new No DQ Super Chat champion. Thanks to DJ's generous Super Chat and forfeited the championship. Jacob Toon with the $2 Super Chat says, "I just realized where the Usos been." Where have they been? In the Uso Penitentiary? Ha ha ha. Next up we had... why? Just when I thought we would never see these goofs again, we had the Saturday Night Live guys talking about Braun Strowman, telling jokes that were not funny. I wanted to gouge my eyes out and just stab my ears because these guys were beyond annoying and obnoxious, and why? Just why? We had the Viking Raiders against Rudolph for the Raw Tag Team titles. Oh, I forgot to answer DJ's question, so let me get to that. And yes, Alistair Black and Zelina Vega are in fact married. I wasn't sure. I forget which ones are engaged and married and whatnot. So as far as a live call-in video, maybe this weekend, I'd like to do one. It's been a while. It's long overdue. So maybe I can do one on Saturday or Sunday. I'll try to get one up pretty soon where people can call in. Maybe Sunday. We'll see. So anyways, the Vikings versus Rudolph. Really good match. Maybe the best match of the evening. Ivar actually got a close call, near fall early on. He did the big splash to Ziggler. Roode made the save. And then this was all early in the match. And then as the match went on, the heels got the heat. Ziggler was yelling out his new catchphrase, "Do something!" Roode tried to use the tights to win. The heels tried to use every dirty trick in the book. But in the end, Eric kicked out of the zigzag and the spinebuster combo. And then Ivar saved Eric from the glorious DVT. Ivar got the hot tag. You hit the Viking Experience and brand new WWE Raw Tag Team Champions. The Viking Raiders have done it. Thankfully, we had a clean finish here. New champions. I liked it. Viking Raiders definitely should be pushed right now as champions. And it's nice to actually have a team be the tag team champions again. I would continue to build them up and then build up AOP. Vikings versus AOP at some point, maybe WrestleMania, but you got to build up both teams really strong for a good 6 months, and then I'd put them against each other at WrestleMania. So there's my fantasy booking. Shanti Kurds with a $5 super chat says, Shanti with a Harambe powerbomb and running to Gotham with my belt, he says. Congratulations to Shanti, becoming the new No DQ Super Chat champion, and thank you for the Super Chat. We had a post-match promo from the Vikings. They talked about how they are the first undefeated tag team to win the IWGP, Ring of Honor, NXT, and Raw tag team titles. That's pretty impressive, I gotta say. And I think it was cool that it was referenced on television, you know. Josh says, I mispronounced the name of the most famous dead gorilla ever. Oh dear. Yeah, sorry about that. My apologies to Harambe, whatever his name is. Dick's out for whatever his name is. All right, moving on here. We had Alistair Black versus Eric Young. And again, you know what this means. Eric Young gets no entrance. Pretty much a squash match here. Alistair picks up the win, taps out Eric Young with his move, which is now being called the Dark Ritual. EC3, poor guy, he wasn't even a factor on this show, and Eric Young, who hasn't been a factor either, actually gets television time, and EC3 and Eric Young, they're basically just going to be enhancement guys, and probably Mike Kanellis too, who just asked for his release. All three guys are basically going to be the Barry Horowitzes of WWE from this point forward. Hashtag poor EC3, poor Eric Young. Eric Young looked so sad. He got no entrance and he's just standing there, and I'm like, that guy looks so unhappy. And I wonder if he's going to be the next guy to ask for his release. Shanti with another $5 super chat decides, yes, I'm back and I've pinned myself, but I'm giving my belt to Alexa from Amazon. Alexa, how excited are you? How happy are you to be the No DQ Super Chat champion? Reasonably. All right, moving on here. We had the next batch of draft picks. This was, I believe, the third one. Let me check here. Yeah, this was the third round. Monday Night Raw got Cedric Alexander. Really? Really? Especially with the picks later. Really? SmackDown got Shinsuke Nakamura, also known as Shin, and Sami Zayn. So you get that 2-for-1 deal. I think SmackDown definitely got the better pick there. And then Raw got, and this is another head scratcher, Humberto Carrillo. Who? Good wrestler. I'm sure he's a good wrestler. But who? Really? This is Raw's pick? You picked this guy over The Miz? You picked this guy over Samoa Joe? What? Dumb. Like, did WWE accidentally mix up these rounds? Because this should have been like the bottom round. Jeez. And then next, SmackDown picked Ali, who had that loss earlier, and they still picked him over Samoa Joe and The Miz and Elias, you know, the guys that are actually somewhat successful in WWE. And then Monday Night Raw picks Eric Rowan. Woo! How exciting. Eric Rowan on Monday Night Raw. Next up, we had the Street Profits backstage, and they were talking about Monday Night Smoke. And then we had the OC come in to congratulate them, but they were, of course, being sarcastic. AJ said he's not sure why they were drafted to be the unofficial hosts when Raw already has the only club that matters. A big fight broke out, and AJ and the OC got the best 3-on-2, beating up the Street Profits. Alejandro Ortiz says, really, Aaron, Samoa Joe loses all the time. Samoa Joe's a badass, though. You know, he should be in a higher position than he's in. Just my take on it. Excuse me. So then we had the fourth round. This is the fourth round. Raw selected Buddy Murphy, who last time I checked hasn't been doing much of anything, but I guess the best kept secret is now out. Buddy Murphy. And then for SmackDown, we had the tag team that just lost the tag team titles, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, so I guess they're not getting a rematch. Monday Night Raw is getting former WWE champion Jinder Mahal, who's been out of action. So, yeah, he is a former WWE champion, but maybe the executives from USA Network have not watched WWE television in 2 years because Jinder Mahal hasn't done shit since Survivor Series 07. And then SmackDown got Carmella. Why, I don't know. Monday Night Raw decided, well, we gotta get one half of that team. We gotta break them up. So R-Truth is now on Monday Night Raw. So I guess the 24/7 championship part of Raw, and no more Truth and Carmella. So sad. I got a tear in my eye. So sad. We had Ricochet cut a promo saying he will continue to overcome obstacles and prove that superheroes can be real. We had Ricochet versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton had a nice little match here with Ricochet, but ultimately this was a showcase for Ricochet, and Ricochet picked up the win with the recoil. We had a Tyson Fury video package, because we all need that in our lives. Speaking of needing stuff in our lives, we had Lana getting a massage, and she was talking about how she likes it deeper. The person doing the massage was like, do you want it harder? She's like, yeah, I like it harder. Then we had Bobby Lashley show up in the towel and started giving her the massage, and then she flipped over, and yeah, Lana likes it hard and deep, in case you didn't know. Then we had, my all-time favorite segment, folks, the contract signing. To make it official, even though they had a friggin' press conference and announced to the world they're doing this match, they had to do this contract signing to make it official. So stupid. If you're going to do these contract signing segments, which you should just get rid of completely because it's a waste of time, do it before you make the match official. Don't do it ass backwards where you announce the match to the world, you do this big press conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then you do a contract signing to make it official. So if they did not sign on that dotted line, this match would not be happening. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Okay, rant over. Braun Strowman said Tyson is undefeated, but it doesn't matter because he has one of the biggest egos he's ever seen. And as far as Strowman is concerned, Tyson was there to steal WWE spotlight, to steal his spotlight, and he's going to give Tyson his first loss ever. Tyson responded by saying, well, he's actually a fan of Braun. His family went there to SmackDown to see him specifically. And he said, at Crown Jewel, he's going to knock out Braun Strowman. Braun responded by getting angry. He was angry, so he broke the table. And then Tyson decided to break a pen. And I'm not sure if he was being funny or if he was really struggling, but he acted like he was going to break it, but he didn't break it. And he did this like 3 times, and then finally he broke it. So I'm not sure if he was psyching out Strowman or if he really could not break that pen. I'm not sure, but this segment was the shits. Terrible. I have no interest in seeing this match. I don't see how anybody wins from this. Strowman, if he loses to this guy, I mean, he is the new Big Show. And at least Big Show lost to like a legitimate superstar that everybody knows. I've heard so many people tell me they've never heard of Tyson Fury before this storyline. So if Strowman loses to this guy, like, he's worse than Big Show. And if he beats Tyson Fury, who cares really? Like, it's not going to do anything for Strowman. I mean, this is like Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, WWE thinks they're getting publicity for this, but people are just laughing at how stupid this is, and nobody's going to win. Unless Tyson Fury is like the greatest professional wrestler that we haven't seen before, then this is going to be a disaster. Like, I don't understand like what this is going to accomplish long term, other than Saudi Arabia wants it. They're paying WWE millions of dollars, so Saudi Arabia gets what they want, and that's that. So then we had, I believe this was the 5th or 6th. This was the final round. So keep this in mind. Final round of the draft. Actually, I'm not even sure if it was the final round. Now I got to double check. So we had, going to Monday Night Raw, Samoa Joe. So after all this, poor Joe is at the bottom of the barrel. Friggin' Humberto Carrillo is above Samoa Joe as far as the executives are concerned. He's more of a big deal. And then going to SmackDown, we had The Miz, which is kind of funny because in kayfabe terms, we do have one more round, by the way. So this wasn't the absolute bottom of the barrel. SmackDown picked The Miz, which is kind of sad. USA Network, you have a show, Miz and Mrs., and you let your big star, this apparent highly successful show, you let this guy go to SmackDown way at the bottom of the draft. Wow. I mean, yeah, in kayfabe terms, The Miz hasn't done shit lately, but still, sucks to be The Miz. And then Monday Night Raw's next pick is Akira Tozawa. Wow. Because the next pick, Akira Tozawa, is above King Corbin. The King of the Ring winner is not as big of a deal as Akira Tozawa. Wow. King of the Ring concept dead. What a joke. And then Monday Night Raw gets Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, Shelton Benjamin. No Luke Harper, but Shelton Benjamin. Yeah. And there was some guy dancing in one of the War Room segments. I'm just like, okay. Next up, we had Buddy Murphy, the best kept secret that's no longer a secret because everybody knows his greatness, versus Cedric Alexander. Good match, but I really didn't care about it, you know. Felt like I was watching a 205 Live match. Sorry, Noah. Murphy won with the Murphy's Law, so Cedric's pushover? Don't know. Don't really care. We had a Crown Jewel recap of all the matches. As I mentioned earlier, Seth Rollins is now facing Bray Wyatt, and that's an interesting one. Falls Count Anywhere match. Of course, we got the two celebrity matches, Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez, and then Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman. And then, of course, Team Hogan versus Team Flair. I think they added a few more people to the match. Ricochet's on Team Hogan now. A few other heels added to Team Flair. And then the Street Profits were backstage saying that they need a tag team partner. They want to face the OC in a 6-man tag team match on Raw. And they said that they're going to find one, but they're going to keep it a mystery. And then they talked about wanting the smoke. And spoiler alert, we never found out who their partner was because, well, there was no match. Next up, we had a tag team match. We had the Kabuki Warriors against Natalya and a mystery partner who turned out to be Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans, the latest person to have a phantom babyface turn completely out of nowhere. I guess there's respect between Natalya and Lacey, and that's why Natalya picked Lacey, because Lacey took her to the limit. You had Lacey working as a babyface. She hit the women's right onto Kairi Sane, but then Asuka rolled up Lacey to pick up the victory, and then Natalya consoled Lacey after the match. And this was technically the main event of Monday Night Raw. This was the final match of the evening. Gary with a $2 super chat says, I wish it was Wednesday because I need a dose of AEW. And yes, there were 6 rounds of draft picks. I believe I went through all 6 of them. Did I? Oh, no. We got the final one here. So let me do the final one here. So this is, keep in mind, the final 5 people that were selected. Coming to Monday Night Raw, Rey Mysterio. That's right. Humberto Carrillo got picked above Rey Mysterio. I guess Raw's going with youth. SmackDown got Shorty Gable, and the announcers were acting like this is such a great draft pick. They're going with that name, Shorty Gable, and I'm just like, whatever, man. Monday Night Raw, what an epic pick. Titus O'Neil. Yeah. SmackDown gets Elias, so SmackDown picking Elias. Elias almost the bottom pick, but the bottom pick from Monday Night Raw was Liv Morgan. I guess Liv Morgan getting a renewed push, and she's going to use this as her motivation. You know, she was the last draft pick. But let's talk about the people that did not get drafted. Big Rocker Johnson with a $2 super chat says the Lions got robbed. Who are the Lions? Football team? Isn't that the Detroit Lions? I should know, right? Let's see. Who were the free agents? Okay, so these were people that were not drafted tonight on Raw. AOP. So you have these badass guys who were cutting all these great promos, and they're not even drafted. Matt Hardy, who is very entertaining. He hasn't done much lately, but still very entertaining guy. You would think somebody would draft him. Poor Cesaro. Great wrestler, but not good enough to get drafted. Maybe he's going to NXT. A lot of people speculating about that. The Iconics, and they haven't done jack, so no surprise there. Poor Luke Harper. Guy just came back, doesn't even get drafted. Fire and Desire. Little surprised they didn't get drafted. Drake Maverick, no surprise he wasn't drafted. Dana Brooke, no surprise. Hawkins and Ryder, no surprise. Mojo, no surprise. No Way Jose, no surprise. Sarah Logan, again, no real surprise. Mike Miner with a $5 super chat. So Mike Miner is the brand new, reigning and defending, no DQ super chat champion. And he says, why are they doing Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins again? Will they ever learn? I don't know. Maybe Bray's winning the title, or maybe Seth's going to beat him clean, and that's going to be it for the feud. I don't know. I guess WWE felt they needed to finish the feud because it wasn't finished at Hell in the Cell, so you got to do one more match. I just wonder, are they going to do another cop-out finish or what? I don't know. But thank you for that, Mike Miner. And we will say that you win the championship via the Bray Wyatt Mandible Claw. Jacob Toon with a $2 super chat says, imagine Nicholas pinning Bray for the WWE Championship. Ouch. I mean, I wonder if we'll see Nicholas again one day. Never say never, right? That could be a running joke. Nicholas can show up every now and then at WrestleMania and win the tag team titles with a new partner. Kev Dog says if Bray gets pinned, it's over for him. All right, so we had the final segment of the show after the final match, which was the Firefly Funhouse. Bray was talking about how brave and smart Seth is. However, he doesn't forget. Rambling Rabbit was there. He's scared about Seth coming. And then Seth, in fact, did show up. attacked Bray in the Firefly Funhouse, ripped up the pictures. Rambling Rabbit was crying. He was like, dude, no. Bray then got in Seth's face and said, why are you doing this? Why you do this? And Seth was getting booed, by the way, as this was happening. And then Seth attacked him again, and then Seth decided to live up to his moniker, burn it down. He proceeded to set the Firefly Funhouse on fire, and it burned. Just like Randy Orton burned Bray Wyatt's house in 2017, Bray gets burned again. Except this was really hokey. I mean, this was quite over the top, to put it mildly. Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat says, 5-1, baby. Go Pack, go. Lions choked. Well, sucks to be the Lions then, I guess. And then the Game is on 100 with a $5 super chat. So, Game is on 100. You are the new No DQ super chat champion of the No DQ Galaxy. He says, we all know Tyson Fury is winning a crown jewel, obvious due to boxing. Rollins will retain a crown jewel, and we just saw the end of Firefly Funhouse lame. Yeah, what does this mean for the Firefly Funhouse? Is WWE giving up on these segments? I mean, Rollins burned it down, so maybe next week it'll be like a charred Firefly Funhouse where, you know, it's just this burned out set and Bray is really sad. We'll see what they do next week. I'm definitely curious about it. I wonder how Bray found the Firefly Funhouse anyways. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do the letter grade for Monday Night Raw. I was not impressed with this show. You had a few good matches, but the draft stuff, I mean, it feels like most of the draft picks were not even significant. Like most people were just drafted to the brands they've already been assigned to, with a few exceptions. So overall, I thought the draft was pretty lame. Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat says, Classic Vince killed something that was over. D-, he says. Kim Hall with a D, Sean Douglas with an F, Dr. Scorpio with a D-, Mr. Anderson with a D. Wow, people did not like this show. Tic Tat Tat with a C, Aaron Anderson with an F, Gary with a D+, Nelson with a D, Great Tribulation with an F, Media One Software with a D, and 90stalgia with a D-, Israel Diaz with a C, Matt Helms with a C, Joseph with a D-, and D. Ross 2 with a C-. Curtis Butler with a D-. A lot of bad grades for Monday Night Raw. I thought some of the matches were good, so I'm going to be a little bit more generous than a lot of you. I'm giving it a C-. Caitlin actually gives it a C- too. I mean, there were some good wrestling matches. I like the Viking Raiders winning the tag team titles. So to me, that was the highlight of the show. And, you know, for the noteworthiness of the show, I bump up the letter grade. Contract signing brought it down, though. So, yeah, C-. Mo Camera with a $2.79 super chat donation. Where was Cena drafted? The trash? Ouch. John Cena, I guess, because he's a part-timer now, he's still one of those guys that can appear on whatever show he damn well pleases. And that's that. So that was Monday Night Raw, everybody. I will be back on Wednesday night to discuss AEW. I will be on right after the show, so make sure you guys tune in for that. And then Friday night, I'll be doing my Friday Night SmackDown review. Again, right after the show, back to the normal schedule this week for the live streams. And I will also try to get in a Q&A. I haven't done an actual Q&A call-in stream in a while. Maybe this weekend I'll bust one out for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding WWE Crown Jewel, AEW Full Gear. Cleaver Cullen Andrew with a $2 super chat says, what a disappointment with the draft. You're not the only one, Colin. A lot of people seem to be very down on the draft. And overall, it was pretty disappointing. And I feel like it's not going to be taken very seriously either, which doesn't help matters. So it looks like the Game Is On is ending tonight as the Super Chat champion. So special shout out to him. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.